We're still on Unit 1, now we're on SLT 8 and 9. We're going to describe and draw horizontal and vertical translations. So the transformation that we're focusing on right now is a translation. Now a translation is one example of a rigid transformation. A translation moves each point in a shape a certain distance in a certain direction. Below, the parallelogram has been translated up 1 unit. You can see it went up 1 unit and right 3 units. So up 1, right 3. That's represented by this ray down here, V. It went up 1 and over 3. So here I want you to pause the video and write how many units, then if it went right, left, up, or down. Okay, so hopefully you did the work, and horizontally, this quadrilateral shape ABCD went 4 units to the right, and vertically it translated 2 units down. For number 2, translate the following shape up 3 units and right 1. So now you're going to draw the shape on the grid. Pause the video and try it by yourself first. So if you went up 3 units and right 1, your new A prime would be at this point. B prime would be over 1 and up 3, so it would be somewhere over here. Sorry, that's kind of off the grid. And then C prime would be up 3 over 1 here. And we have our triangle. A prime, B prime, C prime. Make sure you put the primes next to it so we know that it's the image that came from the pre-image. We can label them pre-image and image. Number 3 is the following a translation, yes or no, and explain why. So if we look at this, we see that A, I'll highlight it, A goes up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 1 and over 4. B goes up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. C goes up 2 and over 4. So that automatically makes it not a translation, although it may look like it if you count closely. A, B, and let's look at D is still up 1 over 4. So A, B, and D are up 1, right 4. But C is up 2. Therefore, it's not a translation because they all have to move the same. So we'll say they all have to move the same. Now we're going to actually look at a coordinate grid with this. So there are rules that come with translations in which X moves horizontally and Y moves vertically a certain number of units. So first you list the pre-image points here. So A is at a -2, 1. So we're going to go a -2, -1. So -2, -1 is A. B is 4, 1, and C is -1, 3. So we have this triangle here, and B is at, and then we're gonna have to do the image points with this rule that they give us. So x, y goes to x, y plus 2. So our x's stay the same. We have a -2 for A, but then our y we have to add 2 on. So -1 plus 2 is 1. B, our x stays the same, but y we have to add 2 to it. So 1 plus 2 is 3. And C, our x stays the same, but our y we have to add 2, so 3 plus 2 is 5. So now if you were to plot these points, A prime is at -2, 1. B prime is at 4, 3. Sorry, it's hard to write with this. 4, 3. And at C is at -1, 5. Okay, so that's C prime, B prime, and A prime. So as you can see, it translated up 2 units, and it didn't move left or right at all. That's why the x stayed the same. So for the description, translated 2 units up. Our next one, the x and the y change. So x, first we're going to list our pre-image points. A is at -2, -1. B is at 4, 1. C is at -1, 3. And then we have to list our image points, so we have to add 1 to x and subtract 4 from y. So -2 plus 1 is -1, and -1 minus 4 is -5. B, so 4 plus 1 is 5, and 1 minus 4, -3. Lastly, C prime would be -1 plus 1 is 0, and 3 minus 4 is -1. So those are our new points for the image. A prime is at -1, -5. B prime is at 5, -3. And C prime is at 0, -1. So as you can see, our shape moved right 1 unit and down 4. Now you're going to go and get the practice worksheet and then show me when you're done so I can give you points for it. This is SLT 8 and 9.